I booked a meeting with a $2.2 billion company at 20 years old, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can do the same following my 3-step cold email enterprise formula. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. The first step that you're going to do to book a meeting with a multi-billion dollar enterprise is that you're going to have to build a lead list specifically only targeting them. Nowadays, there's a bunch of different lead sourcing softwares and platforms that you can use, but I recommend using something like Apollo.io, as in my opinion, still to this day, it's the best bang for your buck that you can get. And if you're confused on how to use Apollo.io, I made a video about a year ago going over how to use Apollo.io for beginners that you can watch on the top right or top left that many people seem to like. So go ahead and check that video out after this video to get a good sense of how to use that software. But once you've gotten on Apollo.io, you're going to make sure that you filter out the right people. So what do I exactly mean by filtering out the right people? You see, what I mean is if a company has, let's say, 10 or 20 employees, more than likely they're not making $1 billion a year, are they? They're probably not. So what you're going to need to do when you hop on Apollo.io is filter out employees that don't match this exact criteria of making $1 billion a year. Now you can use Apollo's revenue filter, but in my opinion, it's not really the most accurate. So instead of filtering out by revenue, you're just going to filter out by employee headcount instead. That way, it'll give you a better rough estimation of how much they're making per year. And overall, it'll be very easy to filter out. So what I recommend that most of you start at if you want to target companies that are making a billion or more is make sure that you're only targeting companies that have a minimum of, let's say, 750 employees or more. At 750 employees or more, they're more than likely making $1 billion a year, but there still could be some that slip through the cracks. And honestly, if you really want to be safe, you can do 1,000 employees or more. But 750 is a good place to start, as again, if they have 750 employees, they more than likely are making upwards of up to $1 billion a year. And what I really want to get across in this first point is you want to really filter out the right people, but and make sure you're targeting, or filter out the wrong people and make sure that you're targeting the right people. So the first step to do this is make sure that you're only targeting companies with a certain amount of employees, and that you're only targeting the right job titles to reach out to. So more than likely, a CEO or an owner or a founder of $1 billion company, they're not going to have the time to read your email, reply to it, and hop on a call with you. Why? Because they lead a very busy life, and so much so that they're not going to just drop everything that they're doing and hop on a call with you. Imagine this. Imagine yourself being a CEO of a $1 billion company. Let's say you wake up and every single day it's your job to make sure that every single department in your company is running as smooth as possible. So you go to sales, then you go to marketing, then you go to legal, then you go to operations. And then once you've made sure that all of those are good, you then hop on a call with your investors and board members to plan out what your company is going to be doing for the next quarter, how you're going to approach the next quarter, how many employees you want to bring on, or how to retain your employees, all of that good stuff. So you see how much goes on in their day to day. They're not going to have the time to just drop everything that they're doing and just hop on a call with you, because they're literally steering a $1 billion ship. They are the captain of $1 billion ship, and they have to decide which way is it going. Is it going this way? Is it going that way? With all the different little stuff that they have to deal with on their day to day, they're not going to have the time to hop on a call with you because they're so busy. So what you're going to do instead is target the lower level people that can still make a decision regarding your service or product. So what do I exactly mean? Well, if you're offering or pitching marketing services, instead of targeting the owner or founder, target the CMO, target the marketing director, target the head of marketing. If you're offering a software that helps with billing, let's say automation with billing, target the head of operations, target the operations manager, that type of thing. You're going to go a few levels down and target the people who can still make a decision regarding your software or your product or your services, but aren't as busy as, let's say, the CEO or owner or founder, right? That way, you're reaching out to the right people who, again, make the big decisions on what you're offering. And to kind of illustrate my point here on how important this is on segmenting and targeting the right people, I'm going to tell you a story. I remember a few weeks ago, I was on a call with a prospect, and he was like, "Oh, Aryan, we've ran cold email in the past, and it didn't really work out." And I was like, "Okay, well, why didn't it really work out? Like, what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, the guy that I was previously working with, he was just sending me this huge lead list of 10,000 people, not filtered by industry, not filtered by how many employees they had, not filtered by their job title, and we would just starts blasting out emails on a very broad level to all of these people expecting to book meetings. And it ended up not even working out for him because they booked quite literally next to no meetings. Even if their offer was decent, it didn't book any meetings because they didn't segment the lead list well. So I hope that illustrates my point on how important it is to really filter out the wrong people and only target the right people. So that's step number one. Make sure you're targeting the correct companies and people. Use Apollo to do all of this stuff. And make sure that you segment your lead list, which will make it super easy to write your emails. Which brings me to my second point, which is script writing. So you see, for script writing, you're going to keep your scripts very short and very simple. Now, most of you, I'm assuming you're going to be like, well, but Aryan, but they're a CMO of a huge company, and they make like $10 billion a year. Don't I have to be like very sophisticated? Don't I have to be very, very high level and write very professionally? No. And the reason why is because at the end of the day, they're still a human. Yes, they might be like a CMO or CFO at this high level company, but at the end of the day, they're still a human and they still feel all of the emotions and thoughts that you and I feel. So even if they're like this high level prospect, they go through the same exact things that you and I do because at the end of the day, we're all still human. So make it simple and make it short, which goes back to kind of my other point of the decision makers being busy. Nobody wants to read a dictionary or an encyclopedia worth of words in one email because they're busy working in their own department with their own jobs, with their own lives, whether that's sales, whether that's legal, whether that's operations. They're all busy heading all of these different departments. So keep it short. So to summarize step number 2, keep it short and just keep it simple and just sound human. At the end of the day, there's just people that you're reaching out to. Yes, they might be like $1 billion company. They might be like this high level $1 billion company, but at the end of the day, they're still human and they still feel all the same emotions that you and I feel. So don't put them on a pedestal or make it seem like you have to have like some level of incredibly fancy thing or incredibly fancy writing or professional proposal, all that, because you don't. I didn't, and I booked a meeting with a $2.2 billion company from the same bedroom. So why can't you? That is step number 2. Now, step number 3 is the last step. And what you need is basically a sequencing tool to send out all of these emails. I recommend using something like Smartly.ai because that's the one that we use at our agency. And on Smartly.ai, all you're going to do is plug in all of the leads and all the scripts that you wrote and essentially launch a campaign with those leads and scripts that you have. Make sure for the script as well, and I should have mentioned this in my last one, but make sure for the script as well that you have 1 to 2 follow-up messages for the campaign itself, and you should be good to go. Once you've uploaded everything, all that's left for you to do, and once you've uploaded and launched everything, all that's left for you to do is to just wait for the responses to come in the master inbox. The master inbox on Smartly is basically like all of your email accounts' inbox into one tab that you can give to your sales team or whoever that is running cold emails at your company to monitor and reply to messages and see what people are actually saying when you're reaching out to them. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it. To summarize here, make sure you're targeting the right people. Keep your scripts extremely short and simple, and use a tool like Smartly to send out emails and reply to them. It is not that hard. Trust me, it's not as hard as you think, because these 3 steps are very simple. Like, it's not insane level stuff with all these clay enrichments and all this extra fancy stuff. No, keep it simple, and you at the end of the day will be able to book meetings with these $1 billion companies. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out.